I remember many moons ago on this program they got on me because I started ranting and raving about gas stations that didn't have gas when you're going in on the fumes and you're running late. And I then proceeded to tell everyone of the greatness of quick stop markets, in which a major sponsor, you hear me do the vocals on their ads, didn't that, but quick stop markets located throughout the Tri-Cities. I'm going to go do this here. Marathon, gasoline, And I've never been to a quick stop market where they said, sorry, we're out of gas. Or that in the middle of the day, at 11-something a.m., they were going to be down to 2 gas pumps because that was when they wanted to clean up the gas pump island. You'd think a 24-hour gas station, they might want to do that. I don't know, middle of the night, like when we paint the roads, that sort of thing. Might be best for business that way. So when you realize, I don't know how long it's going to take me to wait right here if I go, and you go a little bit out of the way, and where you're on time and everything's just hunky-dory, but you don't have that problem at quick stop markets. So if you're coming close to one, Johnson City, Elizabeth, and Greenville, they're big in. Irwin, right on Jackson Love Highway. In fact, if you're hungry for lunch right now, the Quick Stop Market in Irwin is not a bad place to go. They have their meatloaf today. Anyway. But, yeah. I'm telling you, if you're going to sell gas, sell gas! Don't put up a sign making, pretending it's 1973 or something. With this rant, it can only be Marky, Billson, your voice of choice for a new generation of Tri-Cities sports fans. Name of the program is Tri-Cities Sports Now, where we own the Tri-Cities because of my hard-hitting opinions and outspokenness. Although really, what's the take today? Gas stations should have gas. Okay, we've got... All right, originally we were planning on having Josh Brown and Oklahoma Nation on today. Last minute he could not make it. So I'll tell you about the Braves. It'll be my own perspective, and we won't be having the back and forth banter that we normally do. I do have, however, some very exciting Appalachian League news, and not necessarily about, hey, the Kingsport Mets are the surprise of the league and all of that. They are, but I've got a little bit more, about new ballparks, coming, going, rumors true, rumors false. Okay. Now, I want to begin, though, today and talk about what was the story of the day for the Tennessee Volunteers. And it was recruiting, okay? Brian Maurer, quarterback out of Ocala, Florida, is the first quarterback signed in the 2019 Tennessee Volunteers recruiting class. Anyone who really gets excited about that, I fear for your mental sanity. I really do. Baker look, who gets excited about recruiting news this day and age? Because I've written for Rivals, I've written for Scout. Is it still around? I think it's pretty much been replaced by 24/7. I've broken, stories on Brent Schaefer. Remember him, Tennessee fans? Yeah. Hey, I got the exclusive interview about where he's going to transfer to. And I did. I didn't even mention Ole Miss. So how can anyone get excited about recruiting news? Look, let me show you how frivolous recruiting news is. And really, all the, you don't know until they hit the field. That's all I get. You don't know until they hit the field. Baker Mayfield go from walk-on, not even having a scholarship, to the first selection in the NFL draft. Fellow walk-on Hunter Renfrow catches the winning touchdown of the college football championship game with a second left to give Clemson the 2016 national championship. And Bryce Brown and Derek Rogers come to Tennessee with 5 stars and best prospect in the nation notoriety, then both flamed out in college and the pros. I could not remember Bryce Brown, who was the #1 recruit in the entire nation. And he came to Tennessee, and it was, oh, look here, this is a great Lane Kiffin recruit. It's so good that they have him and not Phil Fulmer, whose recruiting fell to number 35. Funny how time heals wounds. Funny how time changes perspective. Maybe not truths. Maybe Tennessee is so desperate that they're actually excited now about getting a 3-star quarterback out of Ocala, Florida. And maybe they are really excited about trying to relive 1998. Now, most of the people doing the ratings have arrogance and little more. I know, because I've worked for them. One of my former employers once told the Washington Post he could determine whether a player could make it in college football in 15 seconds. And that's who's doing the ratings. I wonder if he asked his wife to marry him before their first date. Not after their first, you hear those stories about, we were dating for 2 weeks and we just knew, that's, no, I'm talking about before I'm talking about, that's a really attractive woman. I wonder if she'll marry me. You got more vetting out with the mail order brides, my friend. Anyway. But that's what it was like. That's like, trying to say with 15 seconds. I mean, you can tell if someone's going to make it in college football. And I know, you say, well, this guy runs fast. He has a good build. That guy does not. That player running the 540 is not going to be a wide receiver in major college football. Okay. But it's kind of a broad-based statement. You're not really gauging those guys on if they're going to play at Tennessee or Notre Dame or wherever. You're gauging theoretically legitimate college prospects and trying to tell me that within 15 seconds you can tell if he's going to make it or not. Okay, sure. But the thing is, the demand for information concerning college football is so great that a verbal commitment from a 3-star, whatever that means, can be significant news to those following a college football program, especially Tennessee, which has a rabid following. And such was the case when Maurer announced he'd be attending Tennessee yesterday. Still has about 8 months before it's official, and since West Virginia was the other primary school he was looking at, you got to wonder if a lopsided Mountaineers victory on opening day might not sway his decision. But the news beat Jeremy Pruitt. But the news, of, hey, they're bringing in a quarterback from Ocala, that at least beat in the news cycle. Jeremy Pruitt has fired a couple of doctors. Tell you the truth, this really shouldn't be news. Not only is Maurer coming to Tennessee not official, it won't be official for 8 months. I mean, we saw what happened with Cade Mays. But Maurer is hardly the top prospect in the draft. He was ranking about 18th of I said in the draft, but in the recruiting. I think he was about 18th in nationwide college pro-style quarterbacks for 2019. What does that mean? 18th. How do you know the 18th is better than the 19th, or the 19th isn't better than the 18th, or the 17th is better than the 18th? How do you know number 1 is better than 18? How do you know 18 is better than number 5? I mean, you don't. It's theoretically possible Maurer could be another Mayfield and win the Heisman Trophy, but would you wager on that? Only real news here is that the Vols have added a pro-style quarterback. So they're serious about ditching the archaic, improvisational offenses of the past for a more modern, structured game, and that is really good. It's also really bad for quarterbacks Jared Guarantano and Will McBride, those dual-threat quarterbacks that like to begin their play 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage instead of the gain coming about, 10 yards downfield. Guarantano doesn't throw any picks, because he doesn't throw any balls. Regardless, when one reads Maher's comments, we can see the sort of reporting that gives recruiting reporters a bad name. I can tell in 15 seconds, How'd you like, you're bringing, girl of your dreams in high school, and you go to the dad and say, well, sir, I'd really like to date your daughter, and I could tell in 15 seconds he wasn't right for you. That's what it's kind of like there, Look, you know how bad the recruiting reporting is? Go to the Tennessee websites, and you're not going to get the whole truth. And this is the whole truth. Maher visited Ohio State last week, and he committed to Tennessee only after the Buckeyes received a commitment from Dwan Mathis, who's considered by the types that rank such things to be the superior prospect. Maher also stated how impressed he was by Tennessee's facilities, citing a Peyton Manning room for quarterbacks. I don't know how to break this to Maher, but Pitt, who also gave you an offer, they've got a Dan Marino room. Would you believe that? Now, look, I will buy that a player, be it Maher, be it whoever, would like to play at a packed 100,000-seat stadium. I'll buy that. But I'm not going to buy Maher's coming to Knoxville because they got a Manning room. Look, the real story here is that Tennessee isn't beating out the likes of Ohio State and Alabama, Brandon Kennedy for players. They're just getting the ones that they pick over. Now, again, you never know until they hit the field. Like I said, Maher may break all of Manning's records. I wouldn't wager on it, but, you just don't know. But the thing is, when you read between the lines the negatives of signing a real skinny quarterback from Ocala that the major Florida universities apparently weren't that interested in, at least equals the positives. You got to read through that recruiting reporter propaganda. I've known all about it. I've been there. And I've tried to stay away from some of that. We do hear about the stories of those recruiting reporters telling trying to recruit for the school that they did. And, don't get me wrong, if you're recruiting about Tennessee, hey, you liked it. Hey, did you have a chance to go to Calhoun's or something? That's one thing. It's another to say, oh, come here. Now you're just being a shill. You're not being a reporter. All right, Tri-City Sports Now. When we come back, I've got some Appalachian League news. I talked to Lee Landers, president of the league, about an hour ago. Let me tell you what he said. He kind of hinted to it on Monday's show, and you can relive that interview on our 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities Facebook page, which if you haven't liked already, well, like it now. It's Tri-Cities Sports Now. I'm Marky Billson. Back with the scoops after this.
Furniture stores.